Hi, I'm having a beautiful cup of tea and I've been thinking about you. So yes, you've watched my webinar and you're wondering potentially about should I do Ignite Your Life course. And you know what? I thought, why don't I just give you a little bit of extra information and some information on a topic that I find fascinating, which is called fear. We all know it. We've lived with it. It rules our lives. It runs our lives. We sometimes don't know how to overcome it. So I just thought I'd give you a little snippet of information. Fear. Do you know it's an acronym and it stands for false evidence appearing real. You got it? F-E-A-R. So what happens is if something was true, it would be true for every single person. So now when I'm standing in front of thousands of people doing keynote talks, I'll yell out often at all-female audiences or mixed audiences at conferences talking on productivity, and I'll say, who here in the audience is willing to come and stand up here and take over and do some public speaking? And maybe 1, 2, or 3, maybe 5 in the audience will gingerly put up their hands, and the others are shaking their heads vehemently going, no, 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 not me. And then I ask, who here loves adrenaline sports? So things like bungee jumping, rap jumping, I don't know, high-speed boats, cars, but all of that, like that stuff that gets your blood, your heart, your adrenaline pumping through your body. And some people go, yeah, me, Kate, come on, let's go do something. And other people are, not me, I don't even like getting in an airplane. And the thing with fear is that if that fear was true, nobody would be able to do public speaking. Or what happens is they might feel some fear, but they will always let the fear win. We let our fears be bigger than us. But once again, if it was true, it would be true for every single person. That's why they are false. But what happens is, I want to give you a little kind of a metaphor. Imagine that in front of you there is a doorway and painted a beautiful blue, like the color of my funky nails, and it's got a beautiful brass knob, and on the outside, can you see in your mind's eye 2 monsters, and they've got snarl and they're glaring at you, and they've got long fangs and fire coming out of their mouth and long snarly nails, and you know that if you walk up to that door, even if you tiptoe, that they are just going to pounce on you and hiss at you and rip you to shreds. Now the question I want to ask you is, why are the monsters even at that door? So you're probably going to say because they're there to scare you, they don't want you to go in. You might have a couple of other answers at top of mind. But the real answer that the monsters are there is because there is treasure behind the door. If there was no treasure, there would be no monsters to guard it. The monsters have one single job. Their job is to stop you going through that door to find your treasure. So I want to tell you a story. Rap jumping, I mentioned earlier, you might or might not know what it is. So right now I'm sitting in a beautiful studio located in downtown Johannesburg, which is in South Africa. And the city centre is becoming alive again. It's really beautiful. But about 2 years ago, when not all of this kind of amazing refurb had happened, I was invited to do some rap jumping. Well, maybe my crazy side of me invited me to do rap jumping. And it was in a slightly derelict building in downtown Joburg. Now, rap jumping, if you don't know, is where you're on the top of a building and there is one cord that's suspended from the top over the edge to the floor, and there's one person at the top and one person at the bottom, and you get harnessed and strapped in and you waddle your ass up some steps and you sit your legs over the edge of the building, literally with the floor beneath you. You're on top of a 25-story building, and the person at the top literally hoists you, or I bet you your heart's in your throat already. They hoist you over the side and then you are staring at the floor. So you are perpendicular to the building, like Spider-Man, but not quite so sexy. And literally you then start walking down the side of the building, and at some point gravity starts taking over and you start almost sliding down the rope, and you're feeding it through, and you can sometimes let go of your hands and you can have a little bit of a free fall. It's exhilarating. Can you tell I love adrenaline sports? It's also unbelievably terrifying, but it is the most fantastic feeling. But absolutely, you are facing death and staring death willingly, but right below you. I had done 2 jumps this morning, and on my 3rd jump, I was back up the top, and just getting up to the top of this building was no mean feat. And 3 people in front of me, I'd understood it was a fiancé, well, a man and a woman, and they just got engaged, so they were each other's fiancés. Now what was interesting was he was a rap jumper. He'd been doing regular jumps with this crowd in Johannesburg, She, however, was a semi-professional abseiler. So that is a slightly different technique where it can be a mountain face or it can be a wall inside a building where they shimmy up the building and they're also harnessed and then they abseil down. I'm sure you know what I mean. But they face the wall. They're not looking at the floor. But she was by no means scared of heights. So he wanted her to go first. So she gets hoisted into her harness. And as her feet went over the edge, she hasn't even been lifted over yet. She burst into tears. And you could feel the energy in the line change. Her fiancé, bless him, started Hana, 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 Hana in her ear. Why can't you do this? You should be able to do this. You're not scared of heights. And I was like, oh boy, here we go. And what was interesting was he wanted her to do the jump. She was not afraid of heights, but something kicked in because it was a completely different scenario. And it was fascinating for me because she is not scared of heights, but she let that fear be bigger than her. And I always wonder, was it the fear of the rap jumping because it was completely opposite to what she was used to? Or was it perhaps the fear of maybe being controlled by this man or the fear of getting married? But something went down for her and she actually didn't jump because the man in charge told the fiancé to back off and said that this was her choice and she never got to jump. So what happens is when we have a fear, let's go back to that door with the monsters and the beautiful brass knob. If we are walking towards that door, so let's say it is the fear of adrenaline sports. We can be standing side by side. I love them, you don't like them. Or public speaking, or anything. We walk up to that door. I'll just go flick, flick of the monsters on their nose. I barely see them. I open the door and I walk through to find my treasure. You, if you are scared of whatever it is you're going towards, will see those monsters contract and you will do what I consider to be the cheeky but real acronym of fear, which is fuck everything and run. Because you know what? That fear makes you turn, tail, and head in the opposite direction. So I hope you're having a chuckle. I hope I didn't offend you by my swearing, but I want you to just get this concept that fear can constrict your life. We all have them, we just have them in different areas. So it's about, do you know the title of that book by Susan Jeffers? Feel the fear and do it anyway. And I'm not talking about a life-threatening fear. Well, you might think the rap jumping is that, but you know when you're somewhere and your gut says, don't go and take that road to the left, don't go down that alleyway, don't talk to that person. You know, we have a gut feel, and that is real fear. That is life protecting fear that we really need to listen to. That is our gut and our intuition protecting us. The other fear is actually about the treasure, and it's feel it and push through it and find a way to break through it, whatever strategies you need to use, and there are so many. And that is one of the topics that we cover on Ignite Your Life. And the way that we get to that is so often we have fears because of all the baggage from the past, all the rubbish that we carry around, the emotional baggage, the sabotaging, self-limiting beliefs. We look at all of that stuff in this layered, structured, step-by-step way. I don't throw everything all at you like a book. I'm going to give you the first piece. The first piece is let's take stock. Then we're going to set 3 goals in 3 areas of your life. Then we're going to look at your values. Then we're going to do my fantastic, awesome potato exercise. And I'm not going to tell you too much about that, but it is transformational. We're going to be releasing baggage. We're going to be helping you set ballsy boundaries. We're going to help you really just step up and find a way to ignite your light that is in your heart. You need to find the matches or the petrol to throw on your fire or give your fire some oxygen, but you need to find a way to put yourself first again in all areas of life. Not selfishly. You're not going to be saying, oh, sod you to the rest of the world, but when you fill up your cup, when you keep your fire burning, you have got so much more to give to other people. And that's the point. You're not being selfish, you're being self-full. But you know what, after telling you about fear, sometimes I think it can help to have other people say something about the course. I've got some kind of testimonials, little stories to share from clients that have done this course, that were brave enough to take the step and go, you know what, I can spend this money. You know what, I can feel a little bit scared, but I'm going to do it anyway. I don't know quite what Kate's going to ask me, but I'm going to take that plunge. So here's what they said. Di said, this course was incredible and you are incredible, thank you. Because of your honesty, caring and straight talk. You get that sense of me, no bullshit. I have finally learned how to deal with myself, how to stop wallowing in misery and get off my butt and do something to make my life better and more productive. I'm going to get out of this bad situation. This is a lady who'd lost her job, lost her business, lost her home, was in an abusive relationship, and she managed to find her light and kindle her fire again and find that self-preservation and that determination. This kind of stuff no longer belongs in my life. You see, I have become so much stronger. Nonnie says, Kate, you've no idea what this course, Ignite Your Life, has done for me. Thank you for coaching me, yet allowing to do the course my way. I really needed that. You've opened my eyes to ideologies and processes I never even knew existed. You've taught me to love and take care of me because I deserve it, and I love you dearly for that. Thank you, Nonnie. Teresa said, because this is the stuff I was talking about, I cried for my past. I got angry because I realized I wasn't living according to my own values. I used to hide myself, playing small, not taking opportunities. Then I did the forgiveness exercise. I took control and started paying attention to myself and life around me, and this actually led to laughter. I needed this kick in the ass. You're a true angel and will always be in my heart. Helene says, and this is so true, because I think sometimes 4 of the most damaging words are, I know it all. So when you've done perhaps a lot of self-development work, or you've been on coaching, or maybe you've done some programs at work, you kind of think, well, I know that, Kate, I know this stuff, I don't need to do it. But often we know it, but we're not living it, we're not aligned to it, we're not making it part of our lives. We know it, but we're not doing it. They're very different processes. So Helene said, I thought I knew it all, as I train motivation and soft skills courses all over the country. However, I typically never took the time to apply these principles in my own life. I feel great now and humbled, as the opportunities are truly mind-boggling. And here's a last one for you. Marlene says, I am so wired and haven't felt so alive or worthy in years. The sky is the limit and I'm the only one that can stop me. In summary, Ignite Your Life has touched my life so irreversibly and deeply that I couldn't stop the course I'm on, and what's more important, I don't want to. I've managed to run 5 kilometers, which for me is a massive feat. I've always been sporty, but never a runner. It feels awesome. I believe now that I'm entitled to a voice. What's more is I've realized the way I deal with people, what I accept in the way people treat me, and even my approach to food all ties back to the way my dad was when I was a kid. Well, you know what? I can't change what happened, and being aware of it now means I can bury the rage, hurt, anger, fear, along with that potato that belongs to him. You know what? It smelled awful in the end, but what a relief to dump that potato. The most profound part for me is all of my dreams are being finally resuscitated. In fact, I don't know that I've ever allowed myself the time to do this. This course was a crash car that will revive and resuscitate your world when you've just been existing and not living. It's not a quick fix or a patch. You have to be open to what you'll discover, strong enough to accept it, and courageous enough to act on fixing things you didn't even realize were broken. So that's just some insight for you from people that were brave enough. I hope that maybe this encourages you to take the next step. If not, I hope that the videos have given you something interesting to think about. The course Ignite Your Life, you know what it entails. It's 5 weeks, it's lots of support, it's question and answer teleseminars with me live. I've got your back, but you need to be willing. You've got to commit, you've got to sign up. I hope that you have a beautiful day. Bye-bye. So here I am giggling because I just said have a beautiful day, and then I looked at Pete and burst out laughing and said I forgot to tell you about the bonuses, which are always cool. So if you sign up today, what I'm going to give you, I mentioned I think in the webinar I've just written ditch your glitch, so I will give you a chapter of that book complimentary. So you get to get some lowdown on me and what I've been up to and my personal fears and sabotaging beliefs and all of that. So I'll send you a chapter of that at no charge. Plus, I will give you one of my other courses titled Arrest Your Desk. So if you battle and you know that you're thinking, I don't know if I can take on this course because my desk is so full and I've got all these emails and I don't want more emails from you, Kate. So that will help you clear the way and create some space and get some order into your filing, your desk, your emails, your productivity, so that you have a little bit more space in order to ignite your life even faster. So those are the 2 bonuses that I'll give you, and I'm sorry I forgot to say it first time round. Now have a beautiful day.